Discover the best in local business news with a subscription to the IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. For a limited time, try us out for just $1 a week for 8 weeks. Claim this limited time offer now at ibj.com/trial offer.
Indiana innovation at the heart of this week's show. Ground Zero, Bloomington, where we dig deep into a new strategy to bring the region's brightest minds together to push innovation, create jobs, and strengthen brand. To Lafayette, where Subaru is taking a new high-tech direction in making some of the cars we drive. To some of the fastest on four wheels. Aero McLaren's $30 million investment in Indianapolis and what it means to the growing motorsports sector in the region. Plus,
human spaceflight is the ultimate team sport.
Purdue once again with a big role in space exploration. Details on the university's research involvement in the next mission to the moon. It's time for liftoff on this edition of Inside Indiana Business.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and the Indiana Association of Realtors.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, coming to you this week from Bloomington, specifically the Trades District. This is just northwest of the heart of downtown Bloomington. It is home to The Mill, which is a co-working and innovation space that launched here in 2018. This district also includes The Forge, which is Class A office space. There is a hotel project in the works here as well, all part of a 65-acre certified technology park. And this week, it was the scene of an announcement billed as a transformational moment for the region.
This is the start of something awesome.
We learned that people can build things in Bloomington, that we can compete.
It was an announcement years in the making. Bloomington's public, private, and academic sectors joining hands to form Amplify Bloomington, a civic platform designed to connect the region's research, business, and startup assets to grow wages, population, and brand reputation. For decades, Bloomington was powered by big factories and global manufacturers, iconic names like RCA, Otis Elevator, and General Electric that produced thousands of good-paying jobs. But as factories closed and jobs vanished, Bloomington was left searching for an economic identity. Amplify Bloomington is viewed as an answer, a win for not only what it can achieve, but for who it brings together.
When higher ed works with regional partners, it helps the regional partners, but it also helps the university.
IU Chancellor Raul Shrivastov says the university is all in on an effort that stands to redefine the region's identity.
You look at the fastest growing areas in the country over the last 20, 30 years, and you will find at the heart of it is an institution that's driving knowledge, right? Imagine Boston without all the big universities, or imagine Northern California without the big universities. Would they be a shadow of what it is today? They won't be. And you're seeing that happen in places like Asheville. You're trying to see it in all over the country. That is what we want to create here. To me, the sky is the limit.
And joining me now with more perspective on Amplify Bloomington, pleased to be joined by John Fernandez. John, the former mayor of Bloomington, who is the new CEO now of Amplify Bloomington. A major initiative, John, as you look at it, and you and I were talking off camera a moment ago, you really feel the time is right. The assets have been here for a long time, but the time is right. Why so?
Yeah, it's one of those inflection points for a community where we've always had the assets. We've always had incredible capabilities as a community, but we never had absolute alignment between our corporate leadership, our civic leadership, and we have that now. I mean, the university, our major employers, the city of Bloomington, everybody's kind of moving in the same direction, working together, and we all are trying to address the same basic issues. I mean, we have to grow the community, we have to grow economically, and so we've always been the hub for entrepreneurship in Bloomington. We'll continue to do that, but we're also elevating the work to make it more place-based in terms of how we go to market, signaling that there's a lot of opportunity for talent to grow companies, to work here, to build a meaningful life here, to build a meaningful company here. We've lost a lot of population in that 25 to 50-year-old demographic, and a big part of that is they don't see the economic opportunities. So part of what we're trying to do with this kind of innovation and entrepreneurship-driven strategy is to grow those opportunities so that we can keep talent here. I mean, we have a university cranking out some of the brightest minds anywhere. Let's keep them here.
Talk about population growth, talk about brand.
Yeah.
5 years out, what does success look like for Amplify Bloomington?
Well, for us, it's pretty straightforward. We want to be able to see population growth in those key demographics. Our goal at the mill is to help 10 companies get from $1 million in annual revenue to $10 million by the end of 2030. If we get that done, that's going to create a lot of opportunity. And then the third thing is just to really elevate the brand where it should be, so that when people think about places in America that are innovation oriented, where there's great companies, great opportunities, Bloomington should be in that name. They should think of Bloomington just like they think of the Boulders, the Athens, the Ann Arbors. They should say Bloomington. And today they're not saying it, but in 10 years they will.
All right, John Fernandez, CEO of Amplify Bloomington. Thank you very much. Look forward to following the story.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary.
Where innovation meets the warfighter's needs on the third largest naval base in the world.
Well, certainly much of the new Amplify platform will focus on Bloomington, but it is very much a regional initiative connecting to assets throughout the region, including just south of here, the Crane Naval Surface Warfare Center. It is one of the Navy's largest and most important technical centers, employing thousands of scientists and engineers and others performing work on electronic warfare, sensors, and artificial intelligence-enabled systems. It is a technology powerhouse and an anchor for the region's tech ecosystem. It's also part of what is envisioned as a life sciences and defense corridor stretching from Crane up I-69 to Indiana University, which has long-standing partnerships with Crane that are expanding now, and further north to Indianapolis and the 16 Tech Innovation District, where IU is currently constructing the $138 million IU lab facility. It's part of a broader $250 million investment by IU to boost its life sciences capabilities. It's long-term vision that is beginning to take shape, with developments now underway in the Bloomington region. Well, I will be back here in Bloomington a little later in the show with more on the Amplify Bloomington platform, including a look at housing and talent retention strategies. But up next, hitting the road with Made in Indiana hybrid technology and how it's helping to drive the economy in Tippecanoe County. Kylie Valletta in studio with that and much more when we return.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, the stakes are high. Realtors are market experts who do business by a higher code of ethics, and we're invested in Indiana because we're also your neighbors. Now here's the latest statewide real estate report.
In 2025, the number of homes for sale across Indiana hit a 6-year high, with new listings jumping nearly 10% in the last 2 years. Homes also stayed on the market about 4 days longer than 2024, 2 weeks longer than back in 2021. Buyers have more options and more time to find the right home heading into 2026. But patience is paying off for home sellers, as Indiana property values continue to climb. Indiana is still one of the most affordable states for home ownership. The mortgage payment on a typical recent home purchase equals about 34% of our median monthly household income.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
NASA's Artemis II is the first crewed lunar mission in over 50 years. 4 astronauts will venture around the moon, preparing humanity for a long-term lunar presence for scientific discovery and exploration.
NASA pushing its planned February Artemis launch to March due to technical issues. When Artemis does take off, it will make history in human space travel. And Purdue University living up to its reputation as a key player in space exploration with a heavy amount of alumni involvement in NASA's return to the moon efforts. The Artemis II crew will be traveling farther in space than any humans have before. A Purdue expert explains why that's also a new frontier in astronaut health.
There we can see visual confirmation of deployment of the four mains.
Four healthy mains.
Although astronauts may seem like superheroes, a NASA crew having to return to Earth early from the International Space Station just weeks ago due to an astronaut's medical issue.
And we see the fourth crew member of Crew 11 being helped from the vehicle now.
Is a reminder that they are, after all, only human. And the 4 astronauts for the soon-to-launch Artemis II mission will travel farther in space than any humans in history.
Anything can happen at any time. The farther we go, the harder it is to come back quickly. When you go farther away, everything gets more complicated.
Astronauts haven't traveled beyond low Earth orbit since the Apollo moon landing. So for the first time in over 50 years, Artemis II is going into a different radiation environment.
That certainly has some consequences on crew health that we don't know everything about.
We have a moonican. We will also have 2 torsos that are learning about the moon and learning about the environment.
The uncrewed Artemis I mission used mannequins to study the biological toll of deep space radiation. For Artemis II, scientists believe the total radiation dose for the 10-day mission will be similar to that of one whole-body CT scan.
Everything looks like it's going to be good, but you're not going to know until you go.
Artemis II will also break ground in mental health as it blasts deeper into the cosmos than ever before.
That has some pretty interesting consequences for what's your psychological state of mind when you're on board that vehicle and you're thinking about you're now one of 4 people who is farther from the rest of humanity than anyone else in all of human history.
The astronauts will wear a device on their wrists to help study their well-being, activity, and sleep patterns. The prolonged isolation and confinement of space travel can increase the risk for anxiety and depression.
If you look around what people are working on in terms of spaceflight, this is part of it. How do you assess mental health of crew? How do you maybe help them in times when, they're very far away.
Also challenging the crew's mental toughness, it will be the first time in more than 50 years that astronauts will experience a communication blackout with mission control for about 45 minutes as the spacecraft passes behind the moon.
That's a really deep philosophical thing to kind of consider, especially whenever they go into periods of blackout where we won't be able to communicate directly. You're very disconnected and very far away.
From psychology to safety, NASA says astronaut health is its top priority.
The need to discover, the need to explore, that's rooted in who we are. Whatever we have to do to ensure that we continue exploring space in a healthy way, all the better.
DeMars says there is research underway looking at new methods to help astronauts' mental health in space, including counseling, using virtual reality for relaxation, and communication with their families. Hancock Health is using its podcast platform to make conversations about health topics more accessible. Just Jen features interviews with Hancock Health doctors and experts about topics that impact women. IBJ's Daniel Bradley has more on how healthcare systems are using podcasts to reach patients in this weekend's paper. Still ahead, car making in Indiana takes a new turn. See what's new on the production line at Subaru in Lafayette and the potential impact it could have on what kind of cars we drive in the future.
Serving Indiana means being ready for growing energy demands. At Duke Energy, we're adding more power to the grid and working on hundreds of local projects to make your energy more reliable. We've strengthened nearly 20,000 poles, updated more than 270 substations, and prevented hundreds of thousands of outage hours with self-healing grid technology, so your power can come back on faster than ever. That's the smarter energy future Indiana deserves.
The challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
faster
businesses
among
need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Been a while. What have you been up to?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I see it's not flossing. I just added some secret weapons to my toolkit.
Huh?
They help me drill down further, digging deeper than I ever could before. Into my business and personal finances with Lake City Bank Digital.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now let's take care of that tooth.
Add sharper tools for your money with Lake City Bank Digital.
You are all set, Brian.
I'm Devin.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech.
Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
All Subaru Forester models sold in the U.S. are made at the company's Lafayette facility. This week, the company celebrated a new milestone. For the first time, Forester hybrid models are now on the production line. Sales of hybrid vehicles are on the rise nationwide, and Subaru is now able to participate in the market. The process to bring hybrid vehicle assembly to Indiana has been 5 years in the making.
Is incredibly important to us. We want to continue to be an important component of the automotive industry in the state of Indiana. And by providing hybrid electric vehicles, it allows us to have products that we know are going to match what customers want.
Subaru of Indiana tells us around half of all Subarus sold nationwide are assembled in Lafayette. To life in the fast lane is McLaren Racing, where the team has opened its new headquarters on the northwest side of Indianapolis. McLaren closed on a deal last year to buy the former Andretti Global headquarters on Zionsville Road for more than $10 million. In November, on the Business and Beyond podcast, McLaren team principal and Indy 500 champion Tony Kanaan explained the importance of the investment.
I think we're adding to a lot to the racing capital of the world. We're going to do shop tours, so actually the fans can actually enjoy seeing where we work and how we do things. And we're just adding to Indianapolis, and I think it has everything to do with Indy. So pretty excited about it.
The McLaren IndyCar team employs nearly 100 people in Indianapolis, and it'll be all hands on deck at their new facility as the IndyCar season kicks off in less than a month. Elkhart is the latest Indiana community to pass a DORA ordinance. Customers can buy alcoholic beverages from participating businesses and carry them outside. The DORA will cover the city's central business district with opportunities for future expansion. An Indianapolis tech entrepreneur is working to help homeowners in need of repairs. NeighborServe is a membership-based home services club that matches homeowners with vetted local contractors. Out of those who apply and get vetted, NeighborServe accepts only about 5% into its network.
There's a big gap in trust in this industry. Like, home service is a massive industry. It's a huge problem today. And the lack of trust and respect that's sort of proliferated, right? When you get neighbors serving neighbors, it kind of solves itself.
NeighborServe is currently available to residents through central Indiana as well as Bloomington and Columbus. Hanranahan tells us as the company enters year 3, there are plans for more expansion and more partnerships. An Elkhart company that helps fight and protect against fires worldwide has won the Indiana Chamber's Coolest Thing Made in Indiana contest. Elkhart Brass developed the XD glow-in-the-dark smooth-bore nozzle. It's designed to improve safety in dark and smoke-filled environments. The company was founded in 1902 and produces more than 2,000 products. Up next, they came, they studied, they graduated, but how do you get them to stay? See what the city of Bloomington is doing to keep IU grads in the region when we come back.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, the stakes are high. Realtors are market experts who do business by a higher code of ethics, and we're invested in Indiana because we're also your neighbors. Now here's the latest statewide real estate report.
In 2025, the number of homes for sale across Indiana hit a 6-year high, with new listings jumping nearly 10% in the last 2 years. Homes also stayed on the market about 4 days longer than 2024, 2 weeks longer than back in 2021. Buyers have more options and more time to find the right home heading into 2026. But patience is paying off for home sellers as Indiana property values continue to climb. Indiana is still one of the most affordable states for home ownership. The mortgage payment on a typical recent home purchase equals about 34% of our median monthly household income.
Serving Indiana means being ready for growing energy demands. At Duke Energy, we're adding more power to the grid and working on hundreds of local projects to make your energy more reliable. We've strengthened nearly 20,000 poles, updated more than 270 substations, and prevented hundreds of thousands of outage hours with self-healing grid technology, so your power can come back on faster than ever. That's the smarter energy future Indiana deserves.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, invest in connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
We are bringing the power of this to this with a new IBJ Media app. For the first time ever, you'll be able to get the Indiana Lawyer, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indianapolis Business Journal all in one place wherever you go. All across the state of Indiana, IBJ Media provides the news you need to know, and we're doing it now directly to your phone. To be a part of this, you can find it on your favorite app store. Just search IBJ Media.
Circling back to where we started this week in Bloomington, where Gerry is standing by with more on the city's strategy to tackle housing and convincing IU grads to work there. Gerry?
All right, Kylie, thank you, and welcome back to Bloomington. We are in the Mill, which is part of the Trades District, just a stone's throw away from the heart of downtown Bloomington, part of Bloomington's innovation ecosystem, if you will. And the site earlier this week of the launch of Amplify Bloomington, a civic platform designed to connect community and, in many ways, redefine the economy around innovation and collaboration. And Bloomington believes it is taking an innovative approach to solving the housing challenge facing so many communities around the state. Hopewell is a city-led neighborhood redevelopment project, transforming the former IU Health Bloomington Hospital site into a mixed-use, mixed-income community with housing, public spaces, and other amenities. Rather than private developers, the city is driving this project, which is envisioned as a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and multifamily units. There could ultimately be hundreds of units when complete. But city planners stress it is about more than housing. It is about building a downtown neighborhood that can help to drive population increase.
It has a wonderful connection to park spaces. We have a couple of grocery stores nearby. We have healthcare options not too far away. It's proximal to downtown. If you're an active person, it's walkable to campus. So the location itself really will drive a lot of what the neighborhood can be.
Well, certainly housing options, quality of life, all very important when it comes to talent attraction, which communities all over the state are trying to do. One of the measurables when it comes to the Amplify Bloomington initiative is driving the number of graduates from Indiana University that stay here in Bloomington. In fact, a goal is to retain 250 or more high-skilled graduates annually in the city. So how do you do it? It is a question that cities and towns all over Indiana are wrestling with. And for some answers, I'm pleased to be joined by Ravi Bhatt. Ravi is the CEO of Folia, a company doing great things here in Bloomington, also chair of the Amplify Bloomington board. And Ravi, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Gerry.
First of all, give me a thumbnail description, because your company, Folia, is doing some great things.
Yeah, what Folia is up to. So Folia serves regulated industry customers. So think large law firms, government agencies, large financial services institutions like some of the large commercial banks. And most of the senior professionals in those organizations do a lot of insight capture. Think about making annotations in big, gnarly documents. We provide an end-to-end secure framework for capturing that information and turning it into retainable knowledge.
When you look at what is here now and what you want to accomplish with Amplify Bloomington, how does that translate into getting more IU graduates to stay here, to attract more talent to Bloomington?
I think for Indiana and Bloomington in specific, it's not just that this is an amazing place to start a career or expand a business or build a huge team doing R&D. It's also a great place to live. Indiana University has a new level of, let's say, fight and investment and a willingness to make large bets. That's new. Certainly a world-class football program that put itself on the national stage helps a lot. We're seeing Cook Group and other large employers make big investments in this community. And then, you have hard assets here that are finally being activated. There's a regional airport here that has great bones. We're very close to the Indianapolis airport. We have the Crane, research facility not too far from us. So I think a lot of those stars are aligning, but mostly what it is it's an attitudinal difference. I think there's a lot of excitement now to work together to push towards something bigger and better.
Ravi Bhatt Folia, but also chairman of the board at Amplify Bloomington. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Bloomington is still buzzing after IU football's Cinderella run to a first ever national championship.
That's where he won the Heisman Trophy. What a call by Kurt Signetti.
It's really tough not to rewatch highlights from this game. The Hoosiers ending their season undefeated 16-0, beating the Miami Hurricanes in Miami to claim the top prize in college football. And I recently sat down with longtime sports journalist Mike DeCourcy of the Big Ten Network, Sporting News, to get his take on IU's unexpected rise to the top.
If you put the right pieces in the right places and they believe and they execute what is being asked of them, then you can do great things. I did a piece subsequent to the championship where I ranked it as the biggest, the most remarkable, astonishing sports story of my career, without a doubt.
Mike DeCourcy also weighed in on the NIL and transfer portal's impact on college sports. And you can hear my conversation with him on the next Business and Beyond podcast, which launches Monday. Well, Lake Monroe is located just a short distance from Bloomington, just south of here, the state's largest man-made lake. But it is not the only place to enjoy Indiana's natural beauty. And that's where we leave you this week, with a look at some of the state's most popular places to take in nature. That's all for this edition of Inside Indiana Business from Bloomington. I'm Gerry Dick. Go out and make it a successful week.
Diabetes rising faster among need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Been a while. What have you been up to?
Oh,
Oh, I see it's not flossing. I just added some secret weapons to my toolkit.
Huh?
They help me drill down further, digging deeper than I ever could before. Into my business and personal finances with Lake City Bank Digital.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now let's take care of that tooth.
Add sharper tools for your money with Lake City Bank Digital.
You are all set, Brian.
I'm Devin.
Hello Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader. Get a behind-the-scenes look at Indiana's most influential leaders. On Business and Beyond, we go beyond titles and resumes to explore the personal stories, pivotal moments, and hard-won lessons that shape Hoosier leadership. Hear from the people driving Indiana forward in their own words. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcast or at ibjpodcasts.com.
The IBJ Media Podcast Network is the soundtrack of a growing state. Indiana is on the move, and you can hear it happening on the IBJ Media Podcast Network. We bring you the voices at the center of our economy, our courts, our companies, and our communities. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation that's building Indiana's future. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.